Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of GNN. Today is March 5th, 2025, and it's my brother's birthday today. But before we get into the details of our brand new banner suit for tonight, let's go over some news. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have the 6 million download celebration campaign still ongoing, so definitely take advantage of all the fun stuff that's coming around with that. If you're not familiar with that and you're just kind of late to the party, we do have some free pulls all the way up to 21 days. We're still kind of in the midst of that, so definitely get that free thing. Unfortunately, due to the last banner, the good old full armor Overon, they have suspended the 6 million downloads supply drop step up shenanigans, along with some other things. And I think as compensation, I have to interject 40 3-star mechanic tickets or modification tokens, whatever. I don't think that's doing the business in that regards. So I don't feel like I'm the one to demand anything, but as somebody that's been playing this for a very long time, it does kind of feel like it's a kick to the knees as far as that goes. Although, yes, it is an unintended thing that happened, and it's very unfortunate, especially for some of us out there might be interested in pulling for something like this just because they missed out on the Gundam EX or Overon, or even one of the good 650 suits in support, the Cannon Jigen. I'm not going to try to butcher that name already because that's basically what it is. It's a gun cannon version of the Jigen. It's pretty much suspended, and the only detail that they'll let us know is that it's going to be part of an upcoming March 2025 patch, which is obviously not part of this one so far. So just have to interject that out there. I'm not going to demand anything because we're covering stuff right now, but I do feel like when you do log in and get that 43-star error type of compensation, I do feel like it's kind of underwhelming in response to that. But back on topic, we do have the recon crates at 100%, so you might, get lucky instead and get like your three tokens for free and maybe a suit that you have been missing out on. So that's ongoing. We do have GBO days ongoing, so we do have that free pull for new and returning pilots, a special 4-day campaign every month so far. And our main event here is the Prototype ZZ Gundam. I've seen the Nitro version illustration. It's really cool, but we'll get into that detail shortly because we now have the limited supply drop for the G1st, the Cannon Gian, and the GF tank. So this is for the level 1 and level 2, I believe, as well as their respective weapons. I would say if you really have to have it, this is your chance, but I don't know. I would definitely have to wait and see with that regards, with all the stuff that's going on. We do have some changes to the recycle ticket counter right now with the Jigen CH, good old backstabbing, good old raid of, I believe, 550 native. It's now added there. I don't know what the cost for those tickets are for the suit. I wish they kind of list that. It'd be kind of nice to kind of let people know in advance, so that way they don't get their hopes up high up too much if they don't have enough saved or whatever. But if you do have a lot, well, and you really want to have this pain in the butt suit for the other team, go for it. It's definitely pretty solid. We do have the level 1 and level 2 Dom Heavy. This is a, I think, 350 native, 350 400 suit. It doesn't have any long range. It kind of is able to keep up with the front line, and it chews through generals if they give it the chance. So I haven't had any luck with it personally because I haven't had the means of trying to go through the motions that work well with the that support the suit's playstyle, but I've heard it does some wonders. So definitely something to consider since it's in the DP store. Add it to your collection today, and well, it's a dom. There are some changes to the Day of the Unicorn situation battle, so it looks like everything is getting adjusted to greater mobile suit specs than whatever base mark that they're going for. They don't really specify per se, but might be kind of cool. I haven't done it. It's kind of, I don't know. It's there. If you don't have the Giro Zulu, and then you don't have some of the other suits related to that, definitely do it. We love free stuff when they're weighted pretty. Anyways, onto our main event. Good old 3-star. This is a 650 raid, which is kind of weird because when I think about it, we have the 650 enhanced double Zeta, I think, but I think that's a 700 suit. Hold on, let me take a look at that really quick and interject while we find this out, because my brain is, for whatever reason, confused, because I thought this was a native 650 as well. But I think the regular base, yeah, no, that's right, the regular base double Zeta is at 650, so it kind of makes sense the prototypes here. So let me just double check really quick and fact check myself. Yeah, it's a native 700 for the EZZ. So okay, yeah, so it's basically a lower cost version of the EZZ. I kind of asked around beforehand, so it kind of makes sense. I was like, well, why do we have this when we have the EZZ? It kind of makes sense. 650 prototype unit to demonstrate the transformation mechanism behind the double Zeta. Unfortunately, this one only had two different separation parts, the core top and the core base configuration. You can read that on the page here that we're using as a reference, but they did not have the 3 separation pieces yet, although they did add a core block later down the road. Has its good old, so I think this is the Type B version of the MSZ-009, because there's the regular base 009 prototype, and then they have a B unit, which is the number 2 unit, but that one has armaments, whereas the base prototype does not. Also, on top of that, this does have a heavy attack, and it also has the biosensor ability, which it basically, when you do your heavy attack, it literally negates the enemy's melee resistance. So damn, that's gonna be crazy. This is gonna be something for sure. So 50% reduces damage taken by mobile suit. The enemy mobile suits reduces the occurrence of staggering caused by cumulative damage. So I almost want to say this is very, I don't know, I can't remember if a skill that works is similar to this. It does remind me of the Grimoire a little bit, but at the same time it's like, I don't know, it's not exactly the same, but it's kind of in that annoying factor. Reduces reduction in thruster consumption at starting and during high-speed movement, and disables reaction other than staggering due to damage accumulation only at the time. Yeah, so pretty standard stuff plus some extra stuff. If you are doing the 10 pulls for this, you do get the chance to get, if you don't have this already, the Judao Ashta, the good old protagonist normal suit for the AU in double Zeta. That's his normal suit, so that's your chance to get it. And then on to the stats for the good old double Zeta. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we were not able to get this suit. And God forbid I would spend too much on this, but everything that I saved up, unfortunately, well, as the gacha gods would exclaim, we took everything. So, going off of the specific things here, we have 23.5k of HP power. It does have a leaning on beam and melee resistance already, which is kind of not surprising. It is kind of the golden standard for anything at like 600 and above, so it looks like they kind of do the work for you already with a ballistic resistance of 23, that being kind of the weakness of its resistances. The blatant power that this thing has, it's all in melee, so any type of range strength, it's really not going to do a whole lot. it looks like, or it's going to take a lot of that damage off, which kind of makes sense. It's only there for utility there at that point. Movement speed is 120, so this thing being a thick boy, if we want to compare it to the base model Double Zeta, once that actually launches, it's actually, and surprisingly, quicker by 5. Top speed is 225, thruster gauge of 70, which is pretty decent considering the fact that it's a thick boy. 66 turning speed, which is, I think, par for course, although it might be more on the slower end. So immediately just looking at this right off the bat, I would say if I had this, I would probably be investing into turning speed rather than range power to kind of mitigate some of the oncoming damage, although I would say it probably would be devoted more towards beam defense, since you do want to get those defenses at a reasonable range, but kind of hard to tell now. Now, we do have a prototype version of the double beam rifle. This is 1,000 power, I'm assuming times 2 per hit, which is pretty par, 48% heat rate, so it fires a little bit quicker, 300 meters, 2-second cooldown time, and a 2.5-second focus time. So that's on the quicker side of things. It does not suppress, so yeah, this pretty much like a standard beam rifle in that capacity. We do have a heavy beam saber. Of course, this is at 2600 base power, 2.5 seconds per swing. We do have a rapid and a stun mode version of the double cannon. This looks like it's a burst fire version. I would say 2 shots per barrel, so about 4 shots total. So about 1900, 350, 3-second cooldown time, 13 seconds overheat, which is not bad. Excuse me, sorry, I'm fighting a cold at this moment, so I apologize if we have some uninterrupted pauses in between our explanation. So pretty standard here. It almost seems like you might want to look into overheating parts, but I doubt that you'll have space for it. I would say the best thing to do is to kind of manage that heat very well. But since there's a significant cooldown time between the 2 different cannons, I don't think that should be a problem, since this is predominantly a melee suit anyways. You do have a head cannon, which in this case only has 350 meters. So the nice thing about it is it's kind of like the mass production Double Zeta. In that sense, I would assume you probably use it in a similar manner as well. 4 seconds to charge, you can move on the go, and it's kind of a once and done deal. Although 20 seconds is not very long. It's not as long as the long timer for the full armor 7th Gundam, sadly, which I honestly feel like they need to shorten it down, but I think if they do, people are going to probably cry that it's overpowered. You do have the twin sabers that it has as a secondary melee. This is your heavy attack with a 2-second charge, 2800 times 2, 2.5 seconds cooldown time. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty big ordeal. And then jumping into the shopping list of skills, we have Assault Booster 2. It has Melee Composite System, which is a fancy word of combining different things for melee combo controller and some other things in addition to that, which include it takes a reduced reaction when you have your melee out, when you're getting hit by a range attack, stun, so you're able to recover a lot quicker, which I would say will throw new people off, but the veterans, once they understand the recovery time, it's probably not going to be too hard to adjust, but still, if you're not aware and maybe you forget, it's going to be a problem in this upcoming match, I think this weekend, which is a 4v4 650 simple battle, so you know people are going to be running this. This does have space. I can't remember if this has space compatibility. It does. So high spec M back at level 2, so it definitely does well in space. Maneuver armor 3, which I would say that's pretty much par for course, since this is 650. just shy of the good old 700 where things are much more turbulent. Force Injector 3, we already talked about heavy attack. This has Power Accelerator 2, so if you do clash with another raid, since you're at the same priority, you can get the edge. Pretty standard stuff. Light Control 2, Anti-Blast, kind of not surprising. It's kind of par with it being a full melee suit like this. Damage Control 3 is going to be very useful for this. This also has Immobile Fire System, which activated when using a ranged weapon, you must stop to fire. Reaction caused by ranged attacks will be reduced. Does not apply while focused. Huh. Not sure exactly how that works. That might be more with the cannons than anything else, and the head cannon, but I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna pipe up. Let me know what you guys think on that and how that applies. It's one thing to read the translation and the definition, but it's another thing to actually see it in action in the field, even though I will probably see it at some point in doing my dailies and possibly try to pull for this thing. It does have shoulder buffers and arm buffers, but no leg buffers. So that's going to be a problem, I think, for people that are prone to losing their legs a lot. Of course, this is the specific biosensor ability boost for the Prototype ZZ, which is, as we mentioned earlier, 50% HP. Has all these different things that kick in, and including the heavy attack, just pretty much partially nullifying melee resistance. Could say that it's ignores 25% of the value. Hard to really define what that value is, but I would expect 25 would be a generous cut instead of like completely negating it, like something like 50, which that's even worse if you're on the receiving end. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty nasty if you see this. At the same time, for people that are learning in rated, well, this is your chance to kind of see what it can and can't do in that capacity. With that said, that concludes tonight's update and banner drop for the Prototype ZZ. Let me know what you guys think about the video, if it's informative, or rather, more importantly, if you guys are going to be pulling for the suit and you think it's God's gift to GBO2 or whatever else in between. Let me know in the comments below. I'm very eager to see what you guys think. And until next time, guys, I will see you guys all in the next video. Take care.